Hey guys, it's Gracie from Small Worlds Big Adventures, building community through gaming, and today we are doing a walkthrough of Illiterati. Illiterati is a word building game, but it's cooperative in a way that a lot of other word building games are not. The game comes with its own letters in two bags. One's a discard bag, a little timekeeping piece, and then all the cards that you need. And as you can see from the side, the theming with this is just so cute. The box looks like a book, the cards look like a book. It's just real cute. The first thing you'll do is you'll separate the cards. You'll have a villain deck. You'll have a burn letter card. You'll have a card to tell you the basics of what you need to know for each game. You can play it on 3 levels, and then you'll have the player cards. If we take a closer look at the player card, one side will give you the round order, what victory looks like, and then also what defeat looks like. The other side has examples of what the symbols mean, so that if anything comes up in a book or some other part of the game, you'll know what it means. Then you're going to separate the red books from the blue books. Red books tend to have goals that revolve around the topic, like animals or holidays, and blue books tend to have goals around grammar structures, making sure words have 3 letters or all the words rhyme, things like that. Once you've separated everything, make sure you shuffle each of the decks, especially the villain deck. As we'll get into later, if too many of the villains are close to each other, it can make for a really difficult game for you. So especially with the deck that has Illiterati on the back, make sure you have shuffled that well. For player setup, each player gets one of the player cards so that they can keep track of what they need to do in a round. Then each player draws a red book to start with. For the first part, we're just going to pay attention to the left side. Then each player gets to draw from the letter bag 5 letters. And these can be face up. It's not super secret at this point, but you'll start with 5 letters. Now, you can draw several types of letters from the bag. The first one would be a white tile with a black letter and a little line. This is just a basic letter. The others will be colored with a symbol underneath. When you get your goals on your books, they may ask you to have so many hearts or so many clouds, and so that's what you'll pay attention for those. Now, if you pull one of the 2 types of black tiles, these are wild cards. The blank with all the symbols can be any letter or symbol you need, while the other one can just be any symbol you need. Finally, 3 letters will be placed in the center for the library. Once this is done, it's time to start the first round. At the beginning of each round, you'll pull 7 letters out of the bag. These should be kept face down and hopefully be drawn without seeing them, because you'll all start forming words together once the time starts. Now, while the game comes with its own timepiece, we do encourage you using your phone or some other noise timer. It can be really easy to get absorbed into making words and then not actually noticing that the sand has run out in the hourglass. Once you start the timer, whether your phone or the one that comes with the game, everyone can flip their letters over and then start making words. What's nice about the game is you can make words on your own, but if you get stuck, let's say you don't have enough vowels, or you can't think of any words that would be made from your letters, you can talk to your table mates and potentially swap words or swap letters. Also, the library in the center of the table can be used by anyone to draw from. So here you see me passing bison over to Scott. His topic is animals, so that word's going to benefit him more than me. Now that we've kind of made all the words we can, we each have some leftovers. And so we're combining them here. I am making the word long. And so long as there's only 3 letters in the library at the end of the 3 minutes, and neither of us have 8 or more words, we are set. Once the time is up, if you have enough words to meet the needs of your book, you can bind it. So here, we need at least 8 letters and at least 3 clouds, and they have to be animals. So we have seal and bison, and so that will be enough to bind the book. So you discard the letters, flip it over, and then you'll draw a blue book. Now at the end of the round, if you have excess letters on your team, that is more than the 3 that would be in the library. So in this case, we have 5. It means we did not successfully complete the round, and we have to burn a letter. To do that, you'd flip over all the extra letters, and then you'd mix them up, and then randomly pull one, and then put it on the burn card. You want to avoid doing this because once you've done it 4 times, that's it, the game's over. At the end of the player's turn, it's time for the villains to go. You'll draw a villain card, and then they will attack you. A lot of times their attacks involve losing letters or losing words. Whatever their attack does, it will affect your ability to bind future books. If there's only one of that type of villain that you draw, that's it. Once he attacks, you're done. But if there's already a villain out that type, then the villain will attack you with the new card and with each previous card that has been drawn of that villain. Now, if you and your teammates just have really awful letters, as a team, once per round, you can choose to put in 7 letters between all of you into the discard pile and draw new letters. One thing to keep in mind, you don't get to pause the timer. Time still happens when this goes. And if you do this, when it is the villain's turn, then they will get an additional villain. As you can see here, it's the villain turn. We flip over a villain. This one had one before. So this guy will attack us twice, but then we'll draw a second villain. Now, if that villain has multiple cards out, you don't do the other attacks, just the new card that you draw. Once all the players have completed all the books that they need, then as a team, you'll choose one of the books to do for the final chapter. We think red is easier because it's generic topics, but you could choose whichever book. In this case, the goal is to use 12 letters, have 5 of the same symbol, and either be shapes or map terms. To complete the final chapter and win the game, all the players in the same round must meet the goals of the last chapter. When they do that, they bind the book and they've won. Now you can lose one of 2 ways. The first is by burning too many letters. If you've filled up your burn card, then you will have lost the game as a team. The other way is if you draw the last villain card. If you've drawn every villain, you as a team automatically lose. For words to be allowable in this game, they have to be longer than 3 letters. They can't be proper names, abbreviations, typical Scrabble rules. However, if a book asks for the rules to be broken, so in this case it asks to form a sentence, and I am going to attempt to make the sentence, "Is Tigger real?" Then in this case, since it's a sentence, I can use the proper names and also have a word that is shorter than 3 letters. And that's it. It's a really fun game, guys. And if you're not a wordsmith, but you have wordy friends and loved ones, this is the game for you guys. We definitely encourage you guys to give it a try. Until next time, we'll see ya.